Today we're going to enlarge an image using a grid and practice adding value for depth. So looking at this first image, we're going to choose 3 different shades that we can see. So I'm just putting my viewfinder over one of the shades and trying to match that shade. Looks pretty similar to this. So I'm going to try and match just that shade. And I'm matching exactly what I see in here. Some little details. Okay. Now I'm going to pick another area and I'm going to try and match this shade, this small section. So to make these really, really light shades, you have to just press very, very lightly with your pencil. Then you can use a blending stump to gently, gently blend that in. And it looks like at the top, got a little details. All right, now we're gonna pick one more. Let's see, this is pretty dark. Did I do that one? I don't think I made it dark enough. I didn't. That's better. Okay. And then it looks like there's a little extra lightness here. So super, super, super light. I'm barely putting any pressure at all. I'll use my blending stump. So we should have 3 distinct shades. They should be different. So this one, to me, looks very similar to the shade here. So I either need to make this one lighter or this one darker. I'm gonna make this one lighter. This one's hard. Okay, so now I have 3 different shades. I'm going to add 2 different patterns that I see. For example, I see a pattern that goes line, circle, line, circle, line, circle, line, circle. And then I'm going to add some shading to it. gonna erase the insides of the circles. Then blend around it. Okay, another pattern that I see, it looks like a bunch of little circles to me. So these different pattern ideas are things that we can add to our dragons. And then I'm gonna add some shading to it. Creates a really cool scale pattern. All right, next we're gonna enlarge this image. So to enlarge it, we have to add a grid. So you're gonna try and split your grid into 3 equal sections. Great, we're gonna label our axes. We've got our Y and our X. We're gonna give these numbers. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2. This is 1, this is 2. We're gonna add a grid down here in our enlargement. And we're gonna pick some points. So let's go with, I'm gonna use a marker just so you can see it a little bit better. Now they're not gonna be perfectly on the axis, so we just have to pick things that are close. So let's pick, what would be a good one? How about right here? So we know that if this is the point 1, 2, we're gonna do a little bit of estimation. So if this is point 1, 2, we're gonna estimate, and we're gonna say it's a little bit higher than 1, 2. So down at the bottom, we're gonna label these axes. So this is 0, 1, 2. This is 1, 2. This is our X. This is our Y. So we know that the point was 1, 2. It was just a little bit higher than the point 1, 2. Then let's try, how about this point right there? That's the point 1, 1. We know that this next line is just a little bit below the point 1, 1. So if this is 1, 1, we're gonna go just a little bit below the 1, 1. Now here's a point 0, 1. And this is just a little bit higher than 0, 1. So if here's 0, 1, it's a little bit higher than 0, 1. All right, so we know that between these points, that's the shape we're going to make. Mimicking that same motion. Sorry. Okay. So let's pick another point. So we have this one, it's 2, 1. So we go to the 2. Sorry. The 2 up to the 1. And it looks like it curves up. So we're going to curve this up. Then we have a point at 2, 2. You know, it's not right on 2, 2, but we are gonna choose a point close to there. And it looks like that this curves around. So I'm gonna curve it around. Right, now we come back to our first point we plotted. And then going out to the tip of the tail, let's say if this was halfway, it's a little bit closer to 0 than it is to 1. So if this is halfway, it's a little bit closer to 0 than it is towards 1. I'm just going to curve that down. Now we have a rough estimate of our basis for our picture. So next point we can make is it's on the 1. It doesn't quite touch the very top. Okay, now it looks like the top of this tail does run along the top of that box all the way to the next box. Okay, let's try and plot this point. We can pretend that there's a line in between the 2 and the 3, and our point is closer to the 3 than it is to the 2. So this is our 3, here's our halfway. We know that our next point is closer to the 3 than it is to the 2. Okay. Now let's come to this point. It's even